So let's just settle into our meditation position. Get yourselves comfy and we'll just land. And check your feet. If your legs are down, because you're sitting at a desk, you can have something underneath your feet just to support your feet. Other than that, sitting in a nice, comfortable, cross-legged position on your cushion, which is supporting your sits bones, something nice and firm, slightly raised. Hands are in the meditation mudra. Right hand nestled in the left with the thumbs touching. And imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. Imagine the crown of your head is reaching towards the ceiling, the sky, through the ceiling and up to the stars. Your head is slightly tipped forward, eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose, tip of the tongue, on the roof of the mouth. And relax the jaw. Let's just bring our awareness to our shoulders and just check that they're aligned with your hip bones, your pelvic bone. And then imagine someone has behind you and has got the tips of your ears and is very gently lengthening your ears and your head away from your shoulders and then gliding backwards to align with your shoulders. So just very gently, don't jerk your head. And just bring our awareness to the crown now and relax the scalp and the forehead and the eyes, the back of the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth. And then take your attention to the back of the head, the base of the skull where the occipital bone is. And relax that area there. And you can take a nice warm torch, shine it into your ear, and allow the warmth to relax the inner ear. And then notice when you do that, right at the back of the ear, relax the back of the tongue. This enables your jaw to relax, and the temples, and release any tension in your neck and shoulders, back of the neck, shoulders, your shoulder blades, your angel wings. And then just, if you can, relax that area in between your shoulder blades, upper thoracic. Now relax the throat and the chest and the belly and arms, hands, fingers, legs and feet and toes. And let's just bring the mind to the breath, noticing the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. Just flowing in through the outside of the nostrils. One of the reasons we focus on the breath in the very beginning when we're doing meditation and as a way to sort of a segue into it is because it's something we're doing all the time. It's not very hard for us to focus our attention on the breath. If there are any sounds in your environment, just be aware of them. And just allow them to be there. Try not to have them come into focus. You can allow it to come into focus for a second. Maybe notice what sounds are drawing your attention, and then just let them go, let them fade into the background. And then notice the thoughts as you arise as they arise. They'll abide and then they sort of dissolve. And this is happening all the time if we don't engage with those thoughts, feelings, emotions. And bring the mind back to the breath as we bring to mind all the people of our life. Feel very fortunate if you have people in your life who you care for, who care about you, who are kind, support you. These are our friends. And then our enemies, the ones who irritate us. Maybe we irritate them. And then there's our strangers. It's good to keep in mind that at any time, people in these groups can change place, the friend, the enemy, and the stranger. There may have been friends, enemies, and strangers who have changed place in your life. I think that they all deserve our equal concern because we're just like us. They all want to be happy, can never seem to find happiness. They all want to be free from suffering and constantly encountering some form of suffering. And they all have this unbelievable capacity for this enlightened mind, just like us. So let's think we'll do this meditation this evening for all the people in our life. And then think specifically of all the people involved in the fire up north, all the people in Ukraine, Poland, Russia, and everybody suffering from COVID. Bring the mind back to the breath. And then think we're engaging in a practice that it's basically we're working on the mind. It's a psychological process, this purification. And we've created negativity with our mind. This is where all the negativity starts. So we can change that and create positivity with our mind instead. So first we come to the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all your past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech. And then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on the logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. Not more suffering. So logically, it does make sense to try and pull out these karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, for those of us who have vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. So we can also regret the anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And again, think, I'm sick of suffering. So then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. And first section is about refuge. Second is about compassion. So we rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify, to heal ourselves. So we're not needing Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his methods, his medicine. So visualize Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. And you can imagine this is your teacher, your guru, your lama, your trusted mentor, your spiritual, however you see this person that's helping you along the path. This is the mind of that person manifesting in this form for your benefit. This kind of male, youthful Vajrasattva form. So he's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus. And this lotus born out of mud, growing out of a muddy pond, is untainted by that mud. It's the same as our enlightened potential, born out of our delusions, yet untainted by them. And he has this radiant, beautiful face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you. He has no judgmental thoughts towards you, no critical thoughts, no, just accepting you exactly as you are, meeting you where you're at. Whatever it is you're showing up with tonight is okay. His sweet red mouth, his hair is black and held up in a top knot. He's wearing the 5-pointed crown on his head, embedded with jewels. He's wearing jewelry around his neck, around his waist, around his arms and wrists and ankles. He's wearing also these celestial silks in the royal Indian style. They're just kind of billowing in the wind. He has an aura of light around his head and around his body. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a Vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion, and their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So compassion, in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So in this case, the beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us. So just bring to mind someone you may have harmed and develop a sense of, a strong wish for them to be free from suffering. And the same for the people who have harmed you, although a little bit more difficult. Have strong wish for them to be free from suffering, because the suffering they've caused you is going to just ripen as suffering for them in the future. So just make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings, thinking I must purify for their sake. So next we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the actual medicine doing the practice of purification. So we do a recitation of the mantra and a visualization simultaneously. So first is the purification of the body, and Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dura Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dura Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dude Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita. Duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawasidi mebiyata sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mepiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mepiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is completely purified, and think there is no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. So the next is the purification of speech. And Guru Vajrasattva very happily now sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of the body all the negativity of your speech, and it also quite strongly overflows, was pushed out and disappears into space. So you can imagine that all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech, and the lying and talking about others behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you, all of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mepiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mepiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tathagata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mepiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mepiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mepiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mepiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tathagata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mepiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified. And imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. So they hear your voice, it benefits their mind. I mean, I don't know that we ever think about that when we're talking to people. It's like, is what I'm saying, is my voice being a benefit to others? is my voice benefiting this person right now? Is what I'm saying benefiting their mind? I think we just talk uncontrollably. I think I do anyway. So how amazing it would be if our mind was so focused that we would think that every syllable that fell out of our mouth was of benefit to others. So next is a purification of the mind. And Guru Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra. And this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's the same as when you walk into a room and you switch on a light. That light instantly dispels the darkness in the room. So it's the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart touches your heart, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all our anxiety and anger and depression, attachment, grasping, and neediness and jealousy and bitterness and grudges and disappointments, all these things in our mind, delusions that cause us to harm, instantly purified, disappear upon contact with the light as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mempiyatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mempiyatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mempiyatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mempiyatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mempiyatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mempiyatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mempiyatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified. And think now there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and wisdom and kindness and forgiveness and bliss and compassion. So next is a purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And you can do a couple of mantras each for the visualization of the body and of the speech and of the mind. Or if that's too much, you can just imagine light and nectar pouring into you through the crown, filling you completely, touching your heart and eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasidi mepiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasidi mepiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawatata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasidi mepiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawatata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Duda mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasidi mipiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawatata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Duda mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasidi mepiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawatata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Duda mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasidi mepiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawatata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasidi mepiyata sawa kama sitame Siddham shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawatata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Now feel completely purified, not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So the next is the power of resolve. So a really important step in this purification practice. But first of all, just rejoice, keep rejoicing in the efforts that you're making, the effort that you make to come here night after night and do this practice, and rejoice in the 28 mantras we're doing. Everybody seems to be doing them fairly effortlessly these days. So really rejoice in that. And rejoice in your concentration, your effort. And notice your progress, step by baby step. So if there's something you would like to work on, continue to work on, or something new that you'd like to work on, bring that to mind and make a decision about how long you're going to work on that for, whether it be 30 seconds or 5 minutes or 8 hours while you're sleeping, and just make a determination, perhaps just before you go to bed. Okay, so I won't gossip for 8 hours. Okay, so Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my guru's body, speech and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my own body, speech and mind are the same thing. And LAMA YESHE calls this union oneness. So next, Rinpoche recommends to meditate on the emptiness of the three circles. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, just place your mind there for a moment. And we can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. We can think of things as being cause and effect, dependent arisings. You can think the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, the positive energy we've created doing this purification to all the people of our life, to all the people involved in that fire up north of Santa Fe. Just make sure sure everybody's safe, that all their property is safe, that all their animals are safe. And think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, you can chant this one, I think, again. Tub shu chang jin jam gong Galloway, Tenzin kyong pel wei kun zo dog por chog sum kur away leg mon to droop pa dag sol du je gon du jab ten shok. And for Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindfully of loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please, please live long. And for Geshe Shera, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequaled guide. Please live a long and stable life. Thank you, everybody.